Okay, so let's talk about this. So getting the sales you want in your business. So obviously, you guys know I'm obsessed with sales. Talk about it all the time. Run intensives, masterminds on it, and obviously help my one-on-one clients with it. And so, and I feel like I do sales kind of different than pretty much anyone else does. So I might have some different perspective to give you here, but I think that ultimately it is going to be super useful. Ooh, Rebecca, I love a good hook, right? Thank you. And I will take that as a compliment from you coming from the queen of that. So thank you. Okay, so one of the things that I think is so true and is so not what most people want to hear is that don't do shit you're not selling. Or wait, don't sell shit you're not doing. God, that would have been such a good delivery and I fucked it up. Don't sell shit you're not doing. This industry, and I am like not gonna harp on this for a while, but this industry is like running rampant with people that are selling stuff that they are not being about, that are doing and telling people to do things that they are not also doing. Oh my God, I cannot talk today. And it's not necessarily with bad intent. I just think that a lot of the time it's not getting talked about. And so let me give you an example of what I mean. Like you go to health coaching school or something, and then you're out there marketing and telling people all the things they should do and whatever, but you're not actually doing those things. Or you're, talking about business and you're a business coach and you're telling people all the steps that they need to take to grow their business, but like secretly you ain't doing half of them. Or you're a mindset coach and you're talking about how you should be doing mindset work daily. And when it comes right down to it, you may be doing it once a week or once a month. Like, it sucks to hear that, but it's so true, and it affects your bottom line on such a dramatic level. It affects the content you're able to create. It affects the way you're able to communicate with your audience. It affects how easy it is for you to get on a live stream and just show up. Like, I don't have notes. I didn't prepare for this. Like, this is just easy because it's stuff I'm doing all the time, right? And I think that it's so missing in this industry. Like I'll even have clients come to me and they're like thinking about creating a course on something or whatever. And they're like, okay, so let's talk about what modules I should include. And I'm like, cool, which ones are you doing? Like, what you doing? Like, because what's going in your course should be what you doing, Ashley says, preach it, thank you. Yes, don't sell shit you're not doing. Exactly, right? Like, and that's true with one-on-one, that's true with a course, whatever. This is such a silly example, but I just want to give it because I think it's relevant here. But this like has been such a tenet for me in leadership forever. So when I worked at a nonprofit, I had a pretty big team. So I had like a team of 35, and they were in kind of like an open area, cubicle-ish setup. And we had this like big change happen where a lot of our processes were changing. We were like really re-engineering how we served our clients, all this stuff, right? And I was getting so much pushback from them on like why this was hard and why this wasn't and why this could happen and why this couldn't. And so finally I like moved all my shit out of my office, sat in one of the cubicles for 2 weeks and was like, I'm not going to ask you to do something I'm not willing to do. Like, I'm going to do it here with you for 2 weeks. We're going to figure this out. We're going to get it done. It was the best thing I ever did, right? And I think that selling your services is exactly that. Like if you're asking people to do what you're not willing to do, and even more important, if you're asking them to buy what you're not also willing to do, it's going to be a clusterfuck. When you can be doing stuff and then writing content and sales posts about the stuff you doing and how it's getting you results, sales becomes real easy, right? And it sounds so ridiculous to say it like that, but it's so true. Like the reason I'm so good at selling mindset, strategy, and execution is because I literally eat, sleep, and breathe it. And so when I'm posting about it, I'm just like sharing what I'm doing. Like, I'm like, here's how I think about it. Here's how I'm implementing it. Here's what I'm doing. And it's why it's so easy for me to make sales, because it's so obvious that I'm in integrity and congruent and just like believe so motherfucking deeply in what I'm doing. right? You can tell when someone wants to say the right thing, but isn't necessarily sold on their own stuff, right? And the way to get the most sold on your own stuff is to do it. Hey, Debbie, I can't hang when people say they can't do their profession for themselves. Right. I think that when you're so sold on the thing that you're selling, that you're doing it, your sales are gonna go through the roof. When you're not even sold enough on the thing that you're selling to do it yourself every day, it's going to be really hard to sell other people on it, like really hard, right? And so if you're feeling like, oh, it's so hard to write content, it's so hard to make sales, it's so hard to get other people bought into this. Cool, are you? Like, that's the first question, right? Rebecca says, yes, yes, yes. Thank you, girl. Thank you so much. Rita says, every time I see someone selling something they haven't used, I think of someone taking a sip of something and going, ooh, gross, here, drink this. And it's like, you won't drink it. Why on earth would I? Oh, Rita, that is like the perfect example. Perfect, right? Like, I do not feel sold on drinking your gross drink. Don't feel sold on that, right? And another thing that I say to my clients all the time is like, be your own best case study. Like, the way to make amazing sales is to be your own best case study. And I do not mean that you have to get like massive epic results tomorrow. I think that's such a fallacy. But I think if you can share with people as you're going through your own process, things change. Like, I know for me, when I started out focused on content, I literally wrote content every single day, no matter what. And then I was able to share that, like, hey guys, writing this content got me this result this week. Writing this content is happening every day in this way. Hey, writing this content signed me 2 clients. Like, it became so easy to market myself because I was doing the work I was saying other people should do, and I was seeing results from it, right? Exactly. Like Rebecca said, embodiment is everything. Like, if you are not in the embodiment of what you are selling, meaning like you are literally eating, sleeping, and breathing it, why is someone else going to pay you thousands of dollars to help them do it? It's like, doesn't make any sense, right? And I think especially from a service-based perspective, like when you want to sit, like here's another good one, like Rita's coffee one. Like, I'm real fucking hesitant if somebody's about to cut my hair whose hair looks like shit. You know? Like, you can't even do yours. You sure you're gonna be able to do mine? Like, that's kind of the whole thing, right? But if you can fundamentally get on board with what you want people to buy from you, the amount of people that will show up also on board is crazy, right? Just like if you are a makeup artist, you want to have your makeup done in a way that looks nice. If you're a hairdresser, you're going to care about how your hair looks that day. Like, there's no shame in that game. Like, here's another example. So I guess I still am. It's funny to say it that way, but like, I'm a therapist, though not a practicing one. And like, one of the expectations when you're a therapist is that you're getting your own therapy so that you can come clean to your client sessions, right? It's really hard to be a therapist that's not at least hasn't experienced quite a bit of therapy, right? And that's even what is like a known thing and a recommendation in that space. And so it's like, it's really hard to be a therapist who's never had therapy, because like, what are you selling? What do you believe in? You know what I mean? And just like why a lot of coaches recommend having coaches, because it's hard to be a coach that doesn't believe in coaching. Now, does it mean you have to have a coach all the time? Of course not. Does it mean you're a therapist who constantly has to be in therapy? Of course not, right? But it means you have to believe in your own work, and you have to buy into it, and you have to be willing to put as much, if not more, skin in the game as you're expecting your clients to. Just like I had to be willing to put skin in the game at the nonprofit that I was telling you about. Like, I'm not going to ask you to do something I'm not also willing to do. Now, does that mean it will always look exactly the same? Do I sometimes suggest for my clients they do something that I'm not currently doing? Of course, because their business is different. But like, I'm not going to ask them to stretch and be really uncomfortable if I'm not. I'm not going to ask them to do mindset work every day if I'm not. I'm not going to ask them to live and die by the MSC framework. I'm kidding, but not kidding. If I'm not willing to, right? And even especially, I think this is such a big one too. Like, I feel like being a coach has been one of the greatest gifts of my entire life, because it has forced me in ways that I would maybe not have forced myself to check my own shit constantly. Like, I feel like it is my motherfucking responsibility to do my own work, because that's what I'm preaching every day. And so it has given me this like beautiful gift of being able to do that and being able to see the results from that, right? Great, Rita, that's another great one. Good attorneys use other attorneys. Hey, Brandy, so it's so good to see you. How are you? Stephanie says alignment is key and keeps me in my integrity. 100%, exactly that. Like, I don't need my traffic attorney to also be out there getting traffic violations. I just want an attorney to use another attorney. Fair point. Fair point. But exactly, right? And I think that what I see so often is that someone is doing a lot of research on like the right marketing strategies and the right tactics and the right way to say something and the right way to sell something. And like, the right way to sell something is to be about that something. Like, when you are eating, sleeping, breathing the thing you're selling every day, then it's like super easy to turn that into great marketing, turn that into great copy, turn that into a great sales post, right? When you're not, you're constantly going to feel out of alignment. You're not going to feel in integrity. That's when imposter syndrome is going to start, right? And so one thing I would just offer is that if you find yourself really feeling like it's hard to create content and you don't know the right thing, or you're building a course and you're not sure what you should put in it, or you find yourself doing hours of research just to write your content, again, probably triggering, but it's time to reevaluate what you're selling, right? If what you're selling is something that you fundamentally love and want to do every day and are doing and are mostly in alignment with, does it mean you're perfect? Of course not. Am I like the perfect pillar of mindset, strategy, and execution? No, I fuck up all the time. But the thing is, I believe in it enough that I'm always doing it and always coming back to it. Like, I would like bet like millions of dollars on that framework. Do you know what I mean? And so you have to feel like that about your thing. You have to be willing to do your own work, and you have to be willing to be your own best case study. Like, here's another triggering thing, and everyone gonna hate this or love this, and either way, it's fine. But here's what drives me bonkers. That may be the wrong way to say it. It is probably the wrong way to say it, but in lieu of me reframing that 100 times. But here's the thing that I think can be really hard. A lot of us want our clients to be really about the like long-term game and doing the work and being in it and stretching and whatever. I could go on and on. But what we really want is the magic pill and the fast results and the thing where we don't have to feel anything bad. Right? It's like so ironic. It's like people will like, on one hand, bitch about clients that like don't want to do the work and won't show up and do what they say they're going to do and won't get uncomfortable and all this stuff. And then on the other hand, they're like, cool, so how do I like not get uncomfortable and not do the work? What? Like, none of them, right? Or like people will say like, oh, I hate people that are like just, you know, like trying to figure out how to make fast money. And then they're like, cool. So how do I make fast money? Right? And like, the reason I say this is not to like guilt or shame anybody that has been there. It's just to provide that reflection that that's why it's hard for you to make sales, right? It is not a guilt or shameful process. We've all done that. Like, I have been the therapist that wants people to like do really hard work and been in my own therapy and been like, I mean, can we just like navigate around that really icky, uncomfortable part? Like, there's no shame in that. Like, you don't have to feel guilty about it at all. But my point in telling you that is it is going to impact your sales, because you're trying to sell people on like, it's going to be like a, you know, deep dive process. And over here, you're like, where do I not do the deep dive? And it's just not going to sell. Like, for me, the thing that has made all the difference is that I have just realized like business is a long-term game. And like, it's going to look like this sometimes, and that like I'm not getting out of the human experience of it, and I'm not getting my clients out of it. And so I've just gotten like really in alignment with that. And so it's easy. When I'm like trying to go out the back door and secretly find that magic pill that makes everything better, and I'm trying to sell my clients on the non-magic pill version, it's going to be so hard to make a sale, right? Jamie says, this is so good. Hey, Jamie, thank you for being here. Lena says, fast results. Totally. Holy shit, some of this is blowing my mind right now because I'm not 100% sold that I'm capable of doing the things I'm telling my clients I want to do for them. So not only is it keeping me from taking action to get more clients, but it's also keeping me from taking action to deliver the kind of results I want to deliver. Stephanie, that's such a good reflection. And I love how you saw how that's like what's backing you into a corner, right? And so the gift is you can start doing some of those things for yourself, right? And then you're going to see yourself feeling better and better and how it impacts you. And then you're going to feel like you can do that for a client. And it becomes this like beautiful cycle of congruence versus like this thing that keeps you backed into a corner. Rebecca says, yes, we have to show up the way we want our clients to. Perfect way to say it. Exactly. Like if you're showing up looking for the magic pill, they're probably going to do the same. And then when you don't sell them that, you're going to have a hard time making sales. It's so good to say it like that. Hi, Sarah Baker. It's so good to see you too, right? And so I think that the best gift you can give yourself is to get completely, totally, and entirely congruent with what you're selling and what your beliefs are. That is the best advice I have if you want to make more sales, right? It's like, you know, being, what's it called? Oh, I know. I see so many people that are sort of like, well, I'll know I'm a good business coach when I get the first client. And I'm like, no, you'll know you're a good business coach when you're doing the things that you're preaching, right? Like that is such a big deal. Is like, and I never feel icky about sales because of that. So that's the second, third, fourth, fifth, I don't know what the fuck we're on piece, is that the way to not only get more sales, but the way to like stop feeling like the sales process is icky is to be so fucking congruent with the fact that like you're doing the work. Like I never, ever, ever, ever feel bad about selling people into my programs or on mindset, strategy, and execution or into value-centered sales, because value-centered sales is exactly what I fucking do. And I know it works and I believe in it and it's what I do to this day. And the MSE framework is like everything I've built my entire business on and everything I've helped clients build their entire businesses on. And I believe in it so much that it never feels bad to sell it. Because like, I know it's amazing and I'm literally doing it every day, right? Jamie says, one thing I realize is that I need to do what I tell my clients I want them to do. I'm all about streamlining and simplifying tech, but my own tech is all over the place. I keep talking about it being because I need to test everything out, but in truth, I've made my business more complicated than it needs to be. Jamie, I think that's like such a perfect example, which is like, if you start simplifying your tech and then you start sharing about that and you start sharing about your process and you start sharing about how much time it saved you or what result it got you or what tech you chose and why and whatever, it just starts selling it for you, you know, because you're like having great content, you're bringing people into your process, you're showing them the result, and you're becoming your own best case study in that regard, right? I actually recently had someone on a discovery call ask me like the most fascinating questions, and I was like, fuck yes, but she asked me stuff like, what are your priorities? How much time do you work a week? What does XYZ look like in your business? And she wasn't asking in a way of being like, because it has to be a certain way for me to be a yes, or because like I want to do it exactly like you, but she was more like, so like, does your business like really fit for you? Does it look really much, like very much how you want it to look? Is it really in alignment for you? Because I want to hire someone whose business is really in alignment for them to help me build a business that's in alignment for me. And I was so impressed by that level of questioning because I was like, yeah, that's the thing. Like you want to hire someone that you know is being about what they say they're about. And so she was kind of like, are you about what you say you're about? And then I was able to give her those like transparent answers and we had like such an amazing conversation from that point. And I think that's true for all of us. Like I don't want to hire a health coach that's like secretly, you know, like not following her own plan. I don't want to hire a business coach that feels like, you know, they don't want to do the things they're telling their clients to do. I don't want to hire a relationship coach that's, you know, fighting with her husband every day. Like, it's kind of that simple, right? And I want to be clear that I do not think that this has to be perfect. I want to definitely hire a relationship coach that fights with her husband sometimes and knows how to get through it. I definitely want to hire a health coach that also knows how to go off the plan and then get right back on it. I certainly want to hire a business coach that has those days where they struggle too. So this is not to say that you need to be perfect in this, but it is to say that you have to be way more fucking sold on what you're selling than you expect your people to be. You know, it always comes back to that. And this is the thing I have preached like forever in my business. I think it's like the number one thing on a Lit Up Life's manifesto, but it's like you have to be sold on yourself first and your own stuff first. And so when you are, you will demonstrate that by taking action on those things. You will demonstrate that by being congruent. Like, one fun little exercise is like, go back and read all your content that you put out lately and ask yourself if you're doing 90% of it. Right? Like, that's a fuck, oh my God, that's a mind fuck sometimes, because the answer a lot of times is no. And then what will happen is you'll go, well, what else should I be doing? And what I'm like often telling my clients is go back to what you're telling everyone else to do. That's what you should be doing. That's the best starting point. If we're not baseline at that, that's our work. And then we're going to write content about it, and we're going to write sales posts about it, and we're going to like turn it into an opportunity to make more sales. But if I'm expecting someone like, so my program is $7,500 plus 10% of revenue. If I'm expecting someone to be that bought in and that invested to what I'm selling, I mean, it's a fucking bare minimum that I should be doing it. It's a bare minimum that I should believe in it. Like, ain't nobody paying me that much money, or should be rather paying me that much money, if I am not doing that stuff, right? Because what I'm basically saying is like, it's iffy if it works. Like, I'm not even really doing it because I don't know. Like, no, right? So like, if you're not your own best case study, it is going to be so hard to convince someone else to be your best case study, right? And what I have found is the more that I'm my own best case study, the more I have clients that are fucking blowing me out of the water. And that's the best thing ever. But you still have to start with you. And you're what you can control, right? And I think the only reason I have clients that are just like crushing it and like blowing me out of the water is because I am so congruent and so integrity and so bought into what I am selling, right? And that's why it's, again, so easy to sell and why it doesn't feel sleazy or shitty or whatever to sell. And I think that this is the biggest gift you can give yourself in business. And I also think, again, this might sound a little rough, but it's just like a bare minimum for wanting to start a business. I'm sorry, it is. Like, if you want to make 6 figures, if you want people to pay you a bunch of money, the bare minimum is that you should be doing that work yourself. You know? Like, if you're not willing to, here's a good one. Like, I don't want to hire a plumber that's hiring a different plumber to do the work in his house. And obviously we could like go into the details of like, but does he have an expertise in this area and whatever. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're not willing to work on your own plumbing, I'm sure as fuck not paying you to work on mine. Right? So the same thing is just absolutely factually true here. If you ain't willing to work on your own business in the way you're telling me to, I don't want that. If you're not willing to work on your own mindset in the way you're telling me to, like, I'm uninterested in what you're telling me. I think it comes very much to Brene Brown's philosophy of kind of not listening to anybody that's not also in the arena, right? Which is great advice in terms of like your own mindset, but the other advice is be in the fucking arena, right? So her advice is really like, don't listen to anybody that's in the stands. My advice is like, don't be sitting in the fucking stands, be out there doing your work too, right? And both are two sides of the same coin, you know, like be in the arena with your people, be doing the work you expect them to be doing. And if not more, be doing it at an even higher level. Right? And that is not only what gets you more sales, but to be perfectly honest, it's what gets your clients more results. And it's what gets you having more wins with your clients. because you are there doing it with them and the energy is there, right? Hey, Renee, it's good to see you. Be in the arena. Yes, exactly. Like when you're in that energy and you're doing that, like your clients' results are going to start rolling in. Like I see that all the time. When you're like tentative about doing your own work, you're going to find that most of your clients are tentative. And then you're going to be like, why aren't my clients just showing up and doing the work? And then you're going to be like, oh, fuck, I know why. I got to get in the arena. I got to be doing my own work too. So I hope that was helpful. I hope that it's super clear how that ties to also being able to write amazing content, also being able to sell it really more effectively, and being able to get clients really bought in and excited about it, right? The absolute bare minimum has to be you doing the work that you're selling. Has to be, right? And listen, I think it's really easy to build a business online, but I think there are far too many people that have read one money mindset book and are now money mindset coaches when they haven't done any of the shit that's actually in that book. And I'm not picking on money mindset coaches. I could apply that to fucking anything else. But like the bare minimum for you is to do this, right? And to be transparent about that journey with your people. Again, it doesn't mean that you have to be perfect or doing it 100% of the time, but it means you got to be in the arena, right? So I hope that was so helpful for you guys today. Thank you for listening. What do I have to share with you? What do I have to share with you? Oh, obviously I really believe in mindset, strategy, and execution. This is a huge part of it. So I will share the mindset, strategy, and execution framework that you can go through, since I mentioned it so many times today. But like that, like the reason that thing exists is because that's the work I do all the time on myself. The reason that thing exists is because that's the questions I'm asking myself. In fact, actually, here's a good one too. I just created the having this model. Because having this is my fucking word of the year, and I have been so deep in that work. And so now I'm sharing with you what that work has been for me. It wasn't like I sat down one day and was like, what would be a having this model? I was like, I had this as my word of the year for the last 7 months, and I have been so engulfed in this work. And so let me share with you like what I have done. Like that's the magic. And it's why it was so easy. I think I wrote the having this model in like, I don't know, an hour, right? Because I'd already been doing it. And that's the point here, is like, if you're already doing this, everything else in your business starts to come so much more easily. Getting shit done, sales, getting your clients great results, all of that flows from this place. So I'll share the links for both of those for you. Wait, let's see. When we best help, we can best help those when we've lived through it. Yes. Brandy says, thank you so much. So helpful. Hi, Golden Live. I love it. Thank you so much, you guys. I really, really appreciate you. I'm so glad this was so helpful for y'all today. Love you. Appreciate you. I'll drop the links for MSC and having this, and I hope you guys have a beautiful week. I'll see you next Monday. Bye.